All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome everybody to our third installation of Teach with Tech with Sophia Jetpuri. We are so excited, Isla, to be able to host this, and we appreciate you all logging on. We're going to ask Sister Sophia to get right into her presentation and demo.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. Thank you all for joining. So because of time, we are jumping in. So we're going to go through my top 10 favorite extensions for Chrome. I'm going to start with saying this was a very, very hard decision just to choose 10. Some of them I had to double up, and then I have about a list of another 10 more that I would like, hopefully at a future time, share with you. There are so many applications that can be added on. So just to kind of get started, what are Google Chrome extensions? We're going to be discussing what they are specifically. Benefits extension, we'll go through our top 10 extensions that I recommend for every educator to have, and then wrap up with some Q&A, inshallah. Okay? Okay, so first of all, what are Google Chrome extensions? So Google themselves, they explain extensions as their applications that run inside the Chrome browser and provide additional functionality, integration with third-party websites and servers, and customized browsing experience. Now, it's kind of wordy, but basically they're simply shortcuts to other websites. And the right extensions can turn your browser basically into a Swiss Army knife, sort of utility and efficiency. They really extend the ability of Chrome, and it just allows you to have built-in apps within your browser that you have downloaded. With Chrome itself being the front runner over Internet Explorer and Firefox as a browser, it provides all of these other applications that can be pulled in. So benefits of an extension for teachers and educators. Firstly, they make things more simple, more accessible, more visible, more convenient. There are tons of potential benefits for you in a classroom. For example, you could clip a web page to Evernote and have it saved as a note with a single button push. You could look up a reference without having to go to a separate website and make easy bibliography references. You can model for students how to add citations. You can send a link to colleagues. But basically, there's a lot of ways to find useful resources for lessons and have them integrated within using Google extensions and Chrome extensions. So these are just really quick ways. So some of the criteria that I choose for an extension, I try to find things that increase my efficiency. Now, extensions will vary, they're per personal preference, but for me, efficiency is really important, especially with 4 kids at home, teaching full-time, and working for Google, and helping out Isla in my free time. So I try to make sure that my time is used in the best way as possible. Second, provide a benefit to your content and curriculum that you're teaching. There may be some extensions that are really cool sometimes, but it might not really help you with your curriculum, and it's just something that you might have for personal use, but not necessarily something that you want to constantly have pinned to the top of your browser. Outside of that, I added allow you to connect with teachers, parents, or students, and it might help increase your workflow as an educator. If you find an extension that has the potential to meet any of those 4 criteria, then I would say that would be something you could include on your list. So that's what I used when I chose my favorite 10, because there were way too many, so I had to figure out ways to filter through them. Okay, so before we really go through all of them, just quick disclaimer, too many extensions can slow down your browser. Now, Chrome is known to be one of the fastest browser around, and that's one of the gold standards of Chrome itself. So if you have too many extensions, you kind of hinder that aspect of using Chrome. There also isn't really a standard of how many extensions you should use. Everyone's mileage might vary. So the speed of your PC, the available memory you have, your Wi-Fi speed, how many tabs you keep open, all of this and more can impact your browser's apparent speed. So it's pretty simple to add and remove extensions. It's just a couple of clicks. So it just helps optimize your use of Chrome, and you want to make sure that it stays useful. Okay. So for myself, currently, I think I've counted, when my students were telling me that they had too many tabs open because I was having them multitask and I was training them how to use some of these extensions. And they said, we have like 10 tabs open. So I counted between my 3 browsers, Chrome is the main one, and all the windows, I had 67 tabs open a little earlier. I'm also on a split screen because I needed more space. So, you know, I don't know if my Chrome browser speed is affected along with the 15 extensions that I have added. So just keep that in mind, you know, choose ones that will be the most efficient for you. You don't have to use them all, but pick and choose, and there's thousands. Okay, so this is the first one I'm gonna caveat into because we were talking about me having too many tabs open and split screen. Duelist is a really great one because it allows you to change your screen format into a side-by-side, into 70% of your screen, 30%, and it's a really quick one-click button that allows you to do that. For me, the biggest application I find it for right now is when I am in a class meeting, I'm able to see all my students on one side and my work on the other within a click of a button. And you can split it up and change different ways. You can also use Duelist if you're finding, like Sister mentioned earlier, she's setting up passwords for her students. From having to transfer passwords from one website to another or transfer grades from ReadWorks onto your gradebook, you're able to just split that screen and see all of the information really easily without having to maximize, minimize, and adjust your browser window. Shaza, if you want to find a volunteer, I'm going to continue going just due to time. And if we have a volunteer who wants to try to get our Duelist open, in order to download a Chrome extension, I don't know why, but I think I put that at the end of the slideshow, but you're going to have to go to the Chrome web store.
Sophie, do you mind taking us through that? Because I think actually we might even need to scale back even more. So a Chrome extension is an extension, and that might have been part of your definition, but you have to be using the Chrome browser, the Google Chrome browser, right? So
yes, you cannot do it with any other browser.
All right, so let's go ahead. So Sophia, you're going to take us through that. So we're going to open up your Google Chrome browser. Now, does every laptop or computer already have a Google Chrome browser installed? Is it possible that somebody might not already have that?
It might not be, but it's a pretty quick install. Okay. You could go to your Internet Explorer browser or anywhere else and type in Chrome browser and install that.
Okay. All right, so now we're on a Google Chrome browser and you're going to go to?
Right here, you're going to see Show Apps.
Ah.
So this way there. You can always just type it in a web search, but the fastest way is to show apps. Now, if I was on my work laptop, you would see a dozen apps here, but the fastest way is to click on the little waffle, but this is more of a colored waffle, and then you're going to click on Web Store. And it will bring you straight to the Chrome Web Store where you can see all of the options of different extensions. So if I start with the first one, and I'm going to type in Duelist, this one right here, because I already have it installed, it says remove from Chrome. But at this point, I'll go ahead and remove it and show you how to re-add it. It's generally just a few clicks. You had add to Chrome and then add extension. So that extension is now already added to my Chrome browser. At that point, you'll get a pop-up that says, you know, it has been added. I don't sync mine, so I'm not going to click on that. But
what would happen if you did sync it?
So I don't sync my browser because it's this is syncing. Looks like I have my work email address. So once you have it synced to your work email address within our network, we have a lot of filters. So if your school has filters and websites and restrictions that are blocked, you would need to go through your admin and your tech support team to make sure that these apps and extensions are whitelisted.
But doesn't it also, Sophia, doesn't it also mean that on every one of your devices, you'll have the same Chrome setup?
So that's the plus side of it, yes.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't have to re-download every single one of these extensions on your other devices. I generally only use this one computer. So for me, if I was to have it synced, if I wanted to use something on, on another server and it's blocked out, I would have to contact my work to be able to get that unblocked. And I want to be able to use my personal files and personal extensions as well. And so for me, it's more of a hindrance, but if you have multiple devices that you're using, if you have it synced, you're not going to have to constantly go back and forth and reinstall these extensions on every device. And if it is synced, you're also going to be able to have all of your bookmarks transfer over from one device to another, all of your saved history. You're not going to have to research everything. So it's got its positives and negatives to it. Okay, once you have added it to your Chrome browser, there is a little puzzle piece that you would click on, and you click on the pin. So there's a little thumbtack, and I'm going to pin this extension to the top. It's an easy one button push to make it come at the top. So these are all the different ones that I have pinned at the top of my browser. And if I decide I don't want one of them, I can completely unpin it. So right now I had Flipgrid, which I use for my students, but currently I have unpinned because I haven't been using it for my students yet. There's Giphy. I'm going to just unpin that if I feel like I have too many open that I'm not using all at once. But these are all the different extensions that I had downloaded. So this do list will allow you to have a split screen. It will show you a 3x7 kind of view, 4x6, and it allows you to be able to switch your screen into different formats. And this is especially helpful for teachers right now who are having to look at students and look at their presentation of slides or the textbook and wherever else they're teaching. It's very helpful because I think most teachers don't have a split screen at home. Okay, so that was the first one. And since I demoed that, I'm going to look for a volunteer for the next one.
All right, guys, who wants to download the next one as she switches over to the next Screencastify? All right. Do we have anybody?
For me to do. I like this one too.
Sister Hamdia, are you volunteering, or Sister Muslimatu actually messaged me first?
Okay.
I did, but I have not downloaded Chrome, alhamdulillah, so I'm going to pass to someone else.
All right, Sister Muslimatu. You might already have Chrome on your laptop, but definitely download that so you can utilize these tools.
Okay.
All right.
So for this one, our volunteer is actually going to add the extension and make a quick video and share the link of their video. I will show you how for this one, and then we'll get a little bit more hands-on in a minute. So I want to show you one more thing before you move on. You can actually switch the order of your extensions by clicking and dragging and dropping them. Every time I drag and drop them, you can just put it into the order you want. They're pretty easy to work on. Try to do it in the way that's most impactful for you. So Screencastify is a really quick and easy way to make video tutorials for your students. Once you've created the videos, students can watch them at their own pace. They can watch them in class. It really just transforms the way you teach, especially right now. I know I record my lessons for my students, I post them, and I teach live assignments because I still have students who are struggling to be online at the same time as us due to device issues.
All right, so who do we have for downloading Screencastify? This seems like a little involved. You got to be bold.
I downloaded it if you want me to.
Okay, Dina, go ahead. Share your screen.
Is it multiple people can share at the same time?
Oh, I can do that. I can make that happen.
Yeah.
All right. I've never seen this like that. Go ahead, Sister Dina.
Okay, so I just added it, so, okay.
But we don't see, okay.
You see it?
No, I don't see your shared screen.
So I see that I'm sharing something, maybe because there's multiple.
Okay, let me go ahead and stop my sharing. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, now we see it.
Okay, so for Screencastify, it is going to make you create your own account. Some of these extensions will have you do that, but if you're already a Chrome or a Google user, it's very quick to sign in with Google. So there aren't many steps needed.
Is this whose screen is this?
This is me.
Okay, all right, Dina.
Okay, and
this one might ask you to add in your name and information, but it's very brief. Most of the Chrome extensions are installed within a matter of a minute, or if not less.
Okay.
While you work on that,
so click allow and just proceed with the install.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then go ahead, set the permissions. See, and then you're going to be set for this one extension. So you're not going to have to worry
Good.
about
Perfect. So allow.
all the ones that I said. Yes, allow your microphone, allow the video,
Okay.
and you're an
Oh,
educator. We're all lifelong students too. I don't know why it doesn't give you the
okay.
option to choose between.
Grade school, college, university, other. Should I press?
Yeah, what education level do you have?
So
College, university?
elementary, basically. Yeah.
No, so you have college level education. You yourself have a
Oh,
bachelor's and
yes,
master's.
yes. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I have a bachelor's, so college. All right.
Conference or workshop.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so if you can see right at the top, you have your Screencastify already downloaded.
Yes.
And you're going to click on that.
Okay, I'm clicking on it.
I think you're still in a tutorial. Maybe just close that tab and do it from another window.
Okay, do it from here.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's loading.
So now you have the option to record an entire tab on your browser, the entire desktop, or just your webcam, which is great because if you don't want to have to show everything on your screen and you don't want to have to record a small video from your phone, you can record it directly from your webcam.
Oh,
And just hit record. That's it.
okay, should I try something?
Yeah, go for it.
And
Try
we
it
can
and
see you, Dina. Where's
send us the link.
So you can't see me because I have to prepare for you to see me.
no problem.
Yeah, you can also do it without your camera. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you can also do that, but you know, I'll do a trial one just to greet the students, maybe.
yes, and then please share the link with us.
Okay.
In the chat.
Okay, I don't.
So click record.
Okay. I
Okay.
wanted to open my camera, so I don't. Okay, let's do it with that camera for now.
Okay, for now, if you want to go ahead and stop your screen share, and you can play around with that and share it with us in a little while. Thank you so much for volunteering. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, no problem.
Okay. I mean, I'm picking on you guys, I know, but I really want this to be as hands-on as possible. We all have, you know, other things to do, and this way it saves you a little bit time later. Okay, here's the next one. This one is called Web Paint. So if you project your screen a lot in your classroom, and you know, if you're in the habit of doing that, this will kind of just change your life. So for example, if you want to emphasize on a title in a Newsella article or on a Wikipedia page, you're going to click on the Web Paint icon, and then you would write on the entire article however you like. So this is an article that I've used almost daily in my classroom, or, you know, an extension tool that I've used quite often, especially now because, you know, I can't just say open your textbook, underline this. I'm able to present a PDF of something and they're able to completely underline and write all over it. So do we have a volunteer to work on Web Paint while we move on to the next one? Anyone who wants to try that out? The next slide, I want to ask for a volunteer on the next slide. How about that? No?
All right, Sophia, I'll do it. I'm learning along too, and I feel like you guys are going to see me showing off all this stuff, inshallah, as a on the ISLA stuff. All right, let's see. I'm going to share.
Perfect. You can share you can share the ISLA website with us again and underline or highlight something on the ISLA webpage.
Okay, so I have to first download it. So I go to the apps, and then what do I do? How do I search for it?
Click on Web Store.
Web Store. Oh, okay. See, I am like as basic as anyone else, guys. I don't know any of this. I'm really learning right now. Web Paint.
Yes.
Oops. Okay. Did it come up? Did I do it? Web
You're
Paint.
gonna have to hit enter. There we go.
This one?
Yes.
Add extension.
And
Okay.
that one's done. That didn't ask for any other information.
All right. So now I'm going to go to the isla.org. Good idea, Sophia. Always the marketer. All right. I got, now where's the web paint thing?
So let's go back to our Teaching Today site, or
Okay.
we have maybe the most recent newsletter, either one of those.
Okay, let's do this one. All right, and then this is the app. This is the thing right up here.
Okay, so you're going to click on the puzzle icon,
There, okay.
and then you have to pin, well, close up.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I see it. All right. Okay, now what do I, oh, okay.
So you have a toolbar that comes up with a lot of different options.
Yes.
Circle, text, highlight, underline, and play around with it for a minute.
Oh my gosh, this is so good, because a lot of times people ask me like, hey, how can I do this? And I'm like, I don't know how to capture something from my, like write on it. You know, I know how to do it with my phone, but not on this. Now I put something that I don't need. How do I get rid of that?
There should be an eraser tool, but there is definitely an undo tool.
Oh, okay, I see it.
It's all and an undo. So now imagine this plus Screencastify, right? If you're trying to do a demo and show somebody, click here, watch this. Now you have your picture in one screen, you have your voice, you are presenting it, they're able to watch you live highlighting an entire article. So if both extensions together, it gives you that really more enhanced, you know, academic experience.
So it does take some playing around to really get to know what you're doing. I mean, I'm really just messing up here, but that's just exploring, right? So that's cool. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophia. I look forward to using that. Let me now figure out how to stop my screen share.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yes, Sister Muslimatu.
When we pull this up, will it walk us through the directions of what to do, since we won't have her with us?
Well, you're lucky because you're going to have this demo posted on the website. So
MashaAllah. Okay.
And Sister Muslimatu, that's a good question. They often do have demos, right? Like they walk you through a few things, Sophia?
Screencastify for sure does. So a lot of them do, but some of them don't. And that's where it's, you know, just it's a learning curve to just kind of play around with it. And you can also message me on my Instagram, and I can send you some quick tips on those as well. So you can reach out to me for more.
And hey, we plan to keep these meetings going, inshallah. So let's hope we can keep Sophia feeling the love and showing us more tips and stuff. And those of you who are on who know other things, inshallah.
Sister Sophia, you know, I tried to do the recording and it wouldn't do it. I think because there is a camera involved in Zoom already.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Try that later and send it to us.
Yes. So we have to, you know, be out of the Zoom first, and then I will do it and then send it to you.
That will be your homework assignment for today.
As if I needed another one.
Okay, so I'll be good. I won't assign this one as an assignment to anyone.
No, it's okay. No. I'm just joking. I'll do it. Inshallah.
Okay, for the next one, I'm not going to get a volunteer, but I decided to include the Share to Classroom strictly because a lot of us are shifting over to Google Classroom right now. And this is, you know, this is really just, I don't even have enough words to describe it. It saves me so much time and energy. In order for this one to work, though, there is a caveat. You do need to have your students also install the Share to Classroom extension. So not only do you need it, but your teachers, your students are also required to have this. And for this, you can push websites out to your students at any point in class. So if I'm in the middle of a Google Meet with my students and I want them to go to another website, or I want to push out an article to them, all I have to do is click on the Share to Classroom extension. And that website would immediately show up on their screens. They wouldn't have to do other clicks and open a new tab or, you know, go anywhere else. It would automatically pop up for them. So that's kind of a game changer for me, you know, especially with students having to click, and some of them are getting used to the mouse and all of these new formats, that it just streamlines the whole process for them. You can also use it to make any web page into an assignment, a question, or a resource on your Google Classroom. So I'm not going to require anyone to do any work on this one. I'm going to just move on, but that is one of my favorites as well. Okay, Google Keep.
Excuse me. Can I ask a question? You just open that website, then you just click that button and it will be shared with the student in Google Classroom?
Yes.
Sophia, can you show us something? I feel like that's a really huge one for the teachers. Can you show us like a document that you've created
Sure.
and then how it appears on your classroom?
So I don't have it on this one right now, but I'm going to go through and download that real quick because I think I had to remove it. I'm swapping computers around and we're swapping office situations with all the kids right now. So let me get that on here. Shaza, if you could just do me a favor and keep me in check on the time.
Yeah, we are at 3:41. Sophia, what I was thinking was maybe we get through 5 today and we do another 5 in September. We've got something for next week. What do you think? We're on the 3rd one or the 4th one?
You prefer. So far I'm only sharing Chrome extensions, but I was going to talk to you. There's also Google Meet extensions. There's docs and add-ons for docs and slides. So this can go on for a while.
But here's the thing. I just feel like rushing
educators. There's more for students as well.
Yeah, subhanAllah. I feel like rushing through it, maybe people won't feel confident enough to try it. So like taking the time to show us exactly how it's implemented in your, like with this one, into your classroom.
Okay.
Somebody's asking.
Why is this not?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Sister Shaza, I mean, I don't mind getting as much as I can get from her.
Okay.
Because what happens is while she introduces it, you can go to YouTube and you have a lot of other information that is linked to that.
Too, Sister
so
Hamdia.
it's hard. So it's better we get it introduced here and then we go and practice over there.
I understand, Hamdia, and time is of the essence too. So I appreciate that feedback. Somebody's asking, what's the difference between share to classroom and screen sharing?
Oh boy.
Seema, go ahead. Yes.
Go ahead.
What are you saying, Seema?
No, I was going to say, I can't find in the extension store.
I don't see it right now. I was like, maybe that's why.
Name like share to classroom. The one
Yes,
that
me too. I didn't find share to classroom.
Maybe that's why I had to delete it. I think maybe it was going through some updates.
maybe
I'm
it's
gonna come back to you on this one. I do have some. I'll replace it with an extra one. I don't have. Well, that's what the thing is. I don't have it downloaded right now, but this has been one of my favorite ones in the past.
there's one called Add Doc to Classroom with the same color code as the one you had.
Well, this will add the docs, but it won't push it the same way.
Okay, all right.
I will talk to Google about what happened to that, because I know right now they we just pushed out a brand new on the App Store that's specifically targeted for teachers. So right now they're going through a lot of more development, but I will talk to them and figure out what happened to that extension. That was one of my
Sophia,
favorites.
can you clarify again? Do students have to have the extensions like even like WebPaint in order to use it?
No, they don't. Okay.
So how would they do it then if they don't have the extension?
They'll still be able to see your screen because you'll be in the middle of a class and you
so
can present to them.
you will share your screen and you'll be using that WebPaint and they'll just be able to see it, but they're not going to be able to utilize it like on an assignment themselves unless they have downloaded it, of course.
Right, exactly.
All right, Sophia, we'll let you keep moving maybe a little bit quicker and we'll save the questions till the end, but keep typing them in, guys, in the chat.
Okay. So just to kind of, I'll download them and show you at the same time as we're doing this one. The next one is Google Keep. Google Keep helps you organize and streamline your tasks. It allows you to do everything you need to do. You can also share it with your students and make a collaborative list with students if you like. To use it, you basically simply click on it. I think I have way too many extensions right now, so I'm gonna have to probably unpin a few and get it to show up. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Google Keep extension. What happened? Okay, go to Keep, there we go. So right now I have, this was some random note that I had. We're gonna ignore that.
Sophia's inner thoughts.
Yes, basically, like what are the things that I have to do or things that I have to look up, you know? But I mean, it is really good for sharing for ideas. If as an educator, you could use this to keep your notes in a really organized fashion. like I said, these are all different accounts that I'm working with, but you can also record voice notes. It will actually transcribe your voice memos so that you can find them easily anywhere you need them. And you can send these notes to your students. You can color code them, label them. It's basically like a virtual sticky note. Instead of using your desktop sticky notes or paper sticky notes, now you have sticky notes that are here. So my note is to remind Shaza about extensions for students.
We're not letting you go, Sophia. We're going to go till December, inshallah, with these Wednesdays.
And then this one is really important. So I'm going to mark it in red. You can add collaborators on there. So I want to make sure that Shaza sees this and adds notes to, you know, my post-it at the same time. So if you're working with your students and you're brainstorming ideas, or like right now I'm talking to my students about what are some virtual incentives we can come up with. I could put that in a Google Keep. Right now I'm using a Padlet for them, but I could put it in a post-it note and they could all collaborate and see all the post-it notes. You could add images, archive your notes. There's a lot of options.
So Sophie, we could do this for this group. Like we've the 40 people on right now, we could create a Google Keep and put in the top things that we want our next Teach with Tech Wednesdays to be about or something.
I love it. So Shaza, that's your homework assignment.
I'll add everybody to it, sure.
Keep. Yeah, and everyone can download Keep for that, inshallah. Okay, let's move on. Okay, save to Google Drive. This one, once you find a picture of something that you like, normally what I end up having to do if I have a picture and document, I end up downloading it and then re-uploading it. This will allow you to automatically save. And you can change the destination folder as well. But all I have to do is click here, Google Drive, and it's automatically saved, as you can see, already to my drive. It was a one-click button. You can rename it, and then once you go to your drive, you can change the destination folder. This just saves general to the drive. So it's a one-click button. If I wanted to look for a picture of a cat, I don't know why cat, but here we go. And this entire thing is now saving to my Google Drive. Ooh,
Oh boy, that's too much.
computer. Could not establish internet connection. Okay. I think you guys get the point though. It's just, it makes your life, like I said, it fills my criteria. It makes my life more efficient, saves me the extra minute or two downloading and finding which folder my computer downloaded it onto. It helps a lot in terms of making things go faster. Okay, so for this one, I put 2 options because I told you I couldn't switch, streamline down to 10. But having a screenshot extension will really allow you to produce fast annotation modules for your students and allow them to modify the screen. It'll allow them to show where you want them to look at if they can't find a certain page on a website. For me, if I've in the classroom, I've used it for if I have a student who posted something that I really liked and I wanted to share their outstanding work, I could screenshot it and then post it onto my classroom webpage or post it in an announcement. So you have 2 different options. One is one-click full page screenshot. This will, within one-click button, screenshot the entire image in a page. So this right here, it's one-click full page. I'm just clicking on it and it will automatically, take my entire screenshot. And that was a slide. And you can download it, you can crop it, flip it, rotate, draw all over it, add shapes. This is a fairly simple screenshot. The second one, I don't have this on mine right now just because I think I was having too many, is Awesome Screenshot Minus. This one has one extra additional feature outside of your already, editing and cropping, that it allows you to blur the background of your screenshot. So if you want your student to really focus on one aspect specifically on the page, it's a great way to do that. I find this one a little bit more helpful for students with exceptionalities, those who might get distracted by overwhelming too many texts or images. So this could be better for that, because if you were to use the one-page full screenshot and circle that image, you can edit it, but there's still all that excess outside imagery. So that would be a good option for those kind of students. Can I continue, or any questions so far? Shaza, I'm watching the time, so.
You're good.
Okay. Google Translate. I don't have this on my Chrome. but I put it on my top extensions because of our multinational schools and the way our schools are arranged in terms of students. Right now, you know, I really believe this is really powerful. It's going to allow you to auto-translate anything on your screen. If you decide you want to translate something for your students, it's going to do it, but obviously it's not like 100% perfect, but it really helps to improve communication. This also applies to Google Docs. If you have a document you want to share to families or students who may not be as fluent in English, but you know that they'll be able to read it in Urdu, you could automatically do this. So I have too many, I'm trying to choose my favorites. So right now I have it taken off, but I think every Islamic Studies, Arabic, Quran teacher in our school has it, and they're constantly translating to Arabic. And a lot of our, we have intervention classes, those parents have it, and those admins have it as they're reaching out to parents quite often with more documents. I do encourage my parents in the classroom to also download Google Translate as an extension, because if I send them a document and I might not have translated it, they have the option to automatically translate. Should I demo this one or continue?
I think you can continue, Sophia. I think we've seen this because you can also do it. Sometimes Facebook also has that translate option, so we've seen
Right. That. Okay. The next one, Google Calendar. It's going to tell you how much time you have until your next calendar event. It will just pop up in the corner on your screen. You can shy over it. For this one, I am going to have Dr. Seema be our volunteer. I'm going to choose you because it's a really quick, great glance at your, your classes, your next upcoming events. And because I know she is one of the most busiest people, for her, if she had the Google Calendar extension, it's going to just really quickly show what's coming up next without having unnecessary pop-ups in the middle of your class, without having to open up your full calendar. So
use Google Calendar.
It's a Google Calendar extension. Instead of having going all the way to the calendar, all you have to do is glance over the extension.
Are you looking to see my calendar? I don't have it.
Oh, not your calendar, but do you want to share? Do you want to try downloading the extension?
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see. Where you want me to go? Did I share?
Go for it.
You got my calendar?
Yes.
On my screen. All right. What are we doing? Google Calendar?
Yes. And we only have one or two more after this.
Do I need to type in extension or just Google Calendar?
Just Google Calendar.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to add it to Chrome.
Add extension?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think I saw it pop up at the top of your toolbar. So
Yep.
Go ahead. Yep, right there.
No, I lost it. What are they doing?
You're going to pin it. Use a thumbtack. Right, it's a little higher. It's about fifth one down. Yep, right there.
Okay.
And go ahead and click on that. And your calendar is right there. So you don't necessarily have to go all the way to Google Calendar and open up a new tab. It just automatically will pop up just your next few upcoming events.
Very good.
So I like that because I feel like I live with Google Calendar. That's how I organize everything in terms of my children and myself and work. Okay, so down to the last two slides. This one I have two different PDF editors. I couldn't decide because both have different, functionality. So you have Small PDF and you have Cami. Small PDF will give you the ability to auto-convert any document from one format to another. So you choose a file that you want to type, you want to convert, and it's going to make it editable. So if you have a PDF, it will convert it to a document for you. Or if you have a PDF and you want it into slides, it will turn it into a PowerPoint for you, or vice versa. So it works really well for that. But the reason I'm providing an alternative is because it is limited in its free trial mode. So you can only use it to certain types of, your documents can't be like 50-page documents. It won't work unless you have a subscription with them, and you're limited to a certain amount of conversions a day. Kami does a similar purpose in terms of conversions, but it is better for editing. So I'll show you that real quick. You can open a document from Google Drive. You can split a document. So if you have a 15-page document and you only want to share 2 pages with your students, or if you want to merge a document, you can. Now, there is no subscription required for Kami, so that is a little bit better, but it doesn't have the same conversion features that Small PDF does. You can create a Google Classroom assignment, so there's quite a bit that you can do. I'm not gonna, I guess I can, this is my kid's school flyer. So if I clicked on their flyer, it just popped up in a recent, you know, my son is thinking about joining Junior Leadership Corps currently. So you could make comments on there, drawings, you know, but it's a complete PDF editor without having to get a subscription. The only locked features are adding this image and adding a signature. And then at that point, you would need to have a full access. But generally, you know, those aren't tools that I find that I necessarily need. And if you wanted to switch to an editor just for a signature, you could use DocHub or Small PDF. So I kind of rotate between the two. Okay, and very last one, and I added Bitmoji on here because I didn't know if we had people who weren't in our last training who would be joining us today. Bitmoji, it's just one, it really just adds like a fun factor to your classroom. You do have to create the account in Snapchat, and you can put a variety of avatars that you can drop into your slides or your documents. Giphy was the other one that I didn't introduce when we had our Bitmoji actual training, because Giphy adds animated GIFs instead of your own Bitmojis. So it's also just something else fun. It's a personal preference. This doesn't necessarily streamline my class in any way, but I think it does improve my communication with the students. It allows them to feel like I'm at their level and that I understand where they're coming from, because they're all sending GIFs and avatars all day long. So it did still fit under my criteria because it improved communications. Okay, so, you know, while there's some gray area between the apps, it really just allows you to have this quick efficiency and streamline your work. And open to Q&A.
Wow, Sophia, mashallah, that's amazing. We're at, 2 minutes before the top of the hour. Do we have any questions that anyone wants to ask? Really appreciate that, Sophia. Really great rundown. And I like the idea that the sister had that, you know, people can find a lot of tutorials on YouTube even, 5-minute tutorials. And inshallah, hey, with that Screencastify, I think we're going to have many of you guys doing tutorials soon, inshallah. So that's really great. Any questions, guys? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask. Go ahead, Manal.
So actually, I just want to clarify, because when Dina was downloading the Screencastify, it showed that video code is limited to 5 minutes. So,
yeah.
So is this true?
Yes, it is if you do it without a subscription. If you want to purchase an account, you could get a longer video, but research has proven that if you have small snippets of information, especially in a digital atmosphere, it still is an effective teaching modality, because you don't want students on the screen 24/7 anyways, and allowing them to watch one little chunk of information and do an activating strategy, and then watch another 5-minute clip, and then doing a practice strategy. That 5 minutes is a good enough time where they're stay focused without losing, momentum.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a really great question here. Sister Rashida, do you want to unmute yourself and ask?
Yes, so my question is, like, when you assign a PDF to students, do they need to download something like Kami or the small PDF in order to write on it?
So I don't actually assign students PDF. That way they don't have to go through trying to edit it. I would convert it myself ahead of time. Seema has more experience in the digital atmosphere.
I was just going to say that, lately I've learned that you can take a document and put it in a slide and make it a background just in the menu, just make it the background. And then you can put text boxes where you want them to write. And this is if you want to keep using worksheets.
And this is you tapping into our Next week's.
Yeah, that's a good transition, Sophia. Let us know, what are we going to expect for next week?
So next week, we are going to be working on making interactive notebooks using your old worksheets that you have and getting them to work in slides so that you can make them editable, but also making it into a notebook for an area to save a lot of information. I'm going to show you a quick peek at some if we have some time, if you want to keep questions going, and I'll open up some of the examples I have if you want.
All right, so the short answer to our sister's question was that, well, Sister Sophia doesn't use that Chrome extension, and she doesn't assign PDFs, but Seema has introduced the fact of using the Google Slides to actually make those worksheets more interactive. And we might need a demo on that later on. All right, so here's an example for next week's thing. I think that this is wonderful. Sophia, just to clarify, interactive notebooks aren't just for English, right?
No, I have templates for math and science. I have a lot of different templates. You can make them for any subject, math, ELA, science, social. These are the templates that I have loaded for our school teachers. And you know, these are just all the templates that I've been able to curate over time. So I can even open up the social studies one right now. So you could use it as worksheets and PDFs. So for example, this is a part of speech one. The teacher has, this is right here, this is pre-typed, but you could put an image of the worksheet you have. And like Dr. Seema was saying, there's text boxes and everything is hyperlinked. So if you're in a different form, they could click on pronouns, adjectives, and their entire notebook of lesson, it's just kind of all here. So wow. I will be walking you through on how to create your own interactive notebooks that your students can use to keep their notes together, and it'll allow you to use your worksheets. Right here, if you can see, there's a worksheet that's been attached, and then it's a text box right over the worksheet. So I'll teach you how to be working through that so you don't have to completely recreate the wheel and type every worksheet by hand.
All right. Well, Sister Sophia, thank you so much, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to email us. Sophia, do you mind typing in your email address? Or if you know what, why don't I take that? I don't want to put you on the spot. info@isla.org, and I will try and consolidate that, Sister Sophia, for you. And just like we did this week, we'll start off with some questions, answering some questions, doing any demos if you guys want to show off how you used your Chrome extensions this week with your students. We can do that for about 10 minutes, and then we'll get right into our demo again next week. I know you guys have had a long day. We really appreciate you. May Allah bless you. May Allah make it easy. And may Allah really bless Sister Sophia for her time and her efforts and her excitement, energy for sharing this with us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.